when feminists say they don't need men. You ready for this? When feminists say they don't need men, 96% of construction workers are men. 95% of electricians are men. 95% of plumbers are men. 98% of carpenters are men. 94% of HVAC technicians are men. 97% of mechanics are men. 96% of welders.
Okay. Two things. Women don't say they don't need men. Satanists and occults who are federal agents who are trying to make the divide between men and women say they don't need men. Women don't really say they don't need men. Maybe some women who have been like actually physically abused horribly in the most horrific ways. Maybe they, and even some still like say, you know what, they understand they were in like a unfortunate relationship and they tried to give other men a chance. But usually if an actual citizen says that, that's because they like had a horrific relationship. And to those citizens, I also want to say, you either had a relationship with a Satanist or a robot made in a lab. You didn't have a relationship with a man sent by the Lord, because if a man did something horrific to you, that's not a man by the Lord. It's either a Satanist doing a ritual, or it is a robot clone made in a lab. But yeah, a lot of the women who are on public on the thing who are saying we don't need men, guess what? They are federal agents and they have a satanic goal. Also, all those jobs that he mentioned that men have to do, those are satanic rituals, because we have actual technology that the governments and the satanic cult is hiding from us, where men don't need to do those jobs. So it's not that we don't, and when I say men don't need to do those jobs, we still love men and we still need men. It's just the fact that you need to do those jobs, or the fact that you'll do those jobs, that's a satanic ritual to you. That's a satanic attack, because you're not supposed to do those jobs. So we need you. It's just you don't need to do those jobs, but the fact that you don't need to do them is not like we don't need you. It's just the fact that that's not, we have the real technology, they're just not giving it to us. They're hiding technology. So we have the Mandela effect, which is like dimension bending and merging dimensions, which is like, please marinate what that is. And the government admitted we have aliens. So like, please understand like the type of technology they're hiding from us for real. So, you know, that's why like all those jobs that they're saying men need to do, because it's society functioning, it's a satanic ritual on y'all. Ladies, it's okay if you want to listen to your husband, or you want to listen to the rules of your husband. It's not okay if your husband wants to use satanic ritual or Satanism, or do terroristic things to you or horrific things to you to enforce them, right? Like, it's okay to want to listen and obey and love your husband. It's not okay if your husband is abusing you satanically or in any horrific way. So listening to your husband is one thing, but allowing him to do satanic rituals and weaponize Satanism and terrorism against you is not okay.
And by listening, never fail women by listening to. By listening to women, we ended up with men in women's sports beating them at their own fucking games. That's how stupid women are. When you listen to them, they self-implode. You help a woman by saying, shut up. Everything you think is wrong, come here and comply. She'll say, yeah.
So the satanic cult is the one who's like, okay, I'm not gonna specify, because I'm just starting out on my channel. I'm not gonna specify, but I am gonna say this. The red pill likes to say that a lot of like policies, they're saying like, oh, women voted for them. Women didn't vote for them. The satanic cult is trying to enforce them. None of it is women's fault. It's a satanic cult's fault. Another thing, listen, the whole thing of like women's rights in general, like I said, is in countries overseas, like 6-year-old girls are forced to marry 70-year-olds. They can't say no. Like men over here joke around like, oh, women, you know, men sleep with who they can, but like women marry who they can. It's like, yeah, like, oh, well, the man has to propose. It's like, yeah, you have to propose. You know why? Because in this country, we don't have the satanic ritual where you could force us to marry. Women can say no to you. There are countries where women can't say no. Little girls can't say no to marrying strange, scary men. And horrific satanic rituals are done on women and men all over the world. So they're making like the red pill men, they make women seem like, there's like these like ditzy girls who are like like how they whatever. But the real feminism was actually anti-satanism, because a lot of horrific satanic rituals were done on women and men globally all over the world. Like little girls, so there are little girls overseas that if an older man sexually assaults them, the girl could even get arrested and blamed for that. And it's like, I promise you, no 12-year-old is leading on a 70-year-old man. Like, I promise you. Like, I promise you. You know what I mean? It's not her fault. So, like, especially like when women say, like, oh, we don't, like, they don't want to comply to a man, or when they, like, want to fight off what these men are saying. They're not thinking of like a healthy relationship. They're thinking of the worst when they see what happens to women overseas. Like, men literally, like, if a woman breathes wrong, they could like beat her up and she's not gonna get any help. Like, it's normal. It's not normal for like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, when women wanted rights, it's not to be like a ditzy hoochie with like 1,000 body count and like hate on men. It's literally to save lives. Like I said, in America, I don't understand, other than the fact that the husband is a Satanist and a cult, that a woman is about to give birth, needs to health-wise have a C-section, and men were saying no to the doctor because women had no rights in a marriage to speak for their own health. And if they weren't, married, then their fathers, and, fathers were also apparently lobotomizing their children. You know what I mean? So, like, no, we're not gonna be quiet. And all the stuff that you say is because of women. Like I said, I'm not gonna talk about how I feel about certain policies yet, but I'll just say this. All the stuff that he's saying that the woman voted for is done by Satanists and occults that involve women and men, and and this whole voting nonsense. It's like, you want me to believe voting works? Stop it. You know what I mean? I don't believe voting works. And it's like, oh, you're a stupid woman. At the end of the day, a lot of these policies that he's talking about is done and enforced by Satanists and occults. And the women who he's saying that are voting for certain things or asking for certain things or are pretending to protest for certain things, guess what? They're also Satanists and occults, right? And the cult is global. They're full of men, women, aliens, army, weapons, technology, hologram, time travel, all this stuff. So, like, it's not woman, it's a satanic cult. And it's actually the same diaper clinic who created him in a lab. He's a robot clone made in a lab by the same diaper clinic who is causing all the satanic rituals globally all over the world. That's the irony of it all. Ladies, please don't let Satanists and occults convince you don't need money. You should always have your own money. Otherwise, you will be entrapped by either a robot and a Satanist in a situation you cannot get out of. And the government is set up that, like, if you need to run away from like some abuse or whatever, they're not going to help you properly, which is also set up by the satanic cults on purpose. So please, 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 always have your own money. Always make your own money. Don't trust anybody, and don't ever agree or accept to give up your rights, which I don't agree and I don't accept to give up my rights or our rights to Satan, Satanism, the devil, the Nazis, to any creepy cult, to any creepy organization. Cancel, delete, and clean. There is no such thing as misogyny. It's only Satanism. And I am not a feminist. I am an anti-Satanist. What does that mean? Well, if you look at misogyny, if you look at misogyny and you look at the worst cases where a lot of women's lives overseas and other countries are literally detrimentally, horrifically in danger, and there's the worst things that happen to them, it's not misogyny and it's not men. It is Satanists in a global cult who want to punish women and do satanic rituals on them, because like I said in previous videos, we have a portal to heaven, and when we give birth, the portal opens and God sends a soul through us. We have a connection to heaven in that way. So the satanic cult knows it's a satanic ritual to disrespect women, to treat them like in horrific ways. They call it misogyny, they blame it on the men, but in reality it's not men, it's actually Satanists in a global cult, and they want to make it a global satanic ritual to punish and abuse and do satanic rituals on both men and women, actually. Because if you look at those places where it's like misogynistic law and women have no rights, a lot of Satanism happens to men as well. So gentlemen, please don't be too happy and don't be like, yeah, put them back in the kitchen or whatever, take away their rights. Well, like I said, you know, lobotomies in America, for example, it was predominantly done on women, but it was done on men as well. And when women started getting their rights more, and those husbands were not able to lobotomize their wives, that's when the lobotomies in men stopped as well. So that's just one thing. But like I said, please, before you vote for Satanism, and before you vote for like a group of people having their rights revoked, please do your research and see what happens to men in countries where women have no rights, because y'all are not living there in the most best ways either, you know. And there are satanic rituals that are legalized and weaponized against men and women, men as well, in those countries. And you know, I want people to understand that a lot of misogyny is just Satanism and satanic rituals that the satanic cult, because we have a portal to heaven, and they want to mock the Lord, they want to mock our portal, they want to mock us, and they want to disrespect the Lord through us. That's why if women sometimes ask, like, how come they're bothering women, how come they want to take away women's rights, how come they want to do that, it's not about man versus woman, it's a satanic cult versus God and versus woman, because we have a portal to heaven and the souls come through us and we have that connection, so they will go after women. Ladies, please, I am urging you, and it's a message from the Lord, because you have a portal to heaven and souls come through you. You need to very seriously understand who you are to God. When you understand that souls from heaven through a portal come through you, you need to understand God would never want a man to see you this way sexually. If a man, though Myron is a robot, but forget Myron for a minute. If you ask a man, is it important to please you back, and he responds like this, that is either a Satanist in a global cult who may do satanic rituals, satanic hypnotism, and anything creepy and satanic to you, because the satanic cult knows it's a satanic ritual to not please a woman back, because when they disrespect the genital area of a woman in that way, it is kind of like them saying an F you to the Lord. Because yes, I am serious, the satanic cult has stolen a lot of our technology. So what that means is they can make robots and clones in a lab where they can be weaponized against just humans, but in this way it's a satanic lab creation, robot clone. It's a weaponized humanoid biohazard, humanoid because they look human, but it's a robot clone. They are programmed and weaponized to be destructive towards you. It's a weaponized destruction system. Ladies, if you sleep with a man and he purposely doesn't please you back, it can affect you negatively in a scientific way as well. You can get acne, it can cause stress to the body, it can cause even miscarriages. And by the way, I know that's not scientific, I'm just telling you because your body will be under stress that you're not getting pleased correctly. And also it can also cause to not please a woman back correctly. It can cause you heart issues as well. So I'm just, and once again, please don't give me this nonsense like, oh, I can't find it scientifically, blah, blah, blah. It can, because it like the, you know, getting in the mood is connected to the heart in general. So if you are, basically treated negatively in the bedroom in that way, satanically and disrespectfully to that level of extent in that way, it can cause you bodily harm. So please be very careful. So I want to teach about the importance of a portal and what the work that women need to start doing in this day and age of connecting with themselves and to God. And what that means is this. I have mentioned multiple times that women have a portal to heaven, and the souls come through us during birth. We are a heaven connected portal channeled canal where God sends souls through us. And the major thing of why I'm saying this is because you need to think, if this is who you are to God, you need to start with the very basic thing. If you are so important to God, if you are a portal channeled canal, the major thing you need to think about is, the question you need to ask yourself is, if I have a portal to heaven and souls can come through me, and I have such a huge connection to God in heaven, does God want me as a woman to sleep with a man who doesn't want to please me back, who wants to dishonor my body, dishonor the organ that is connected to heaven in that way, dishonor the organ that will have a soul come through, and the organ that is connected to the portal to heaven? Obviously, the answer should be no, right? Because think about this, right? This is why it's so important. It is so important that you get to know yourself as a woman and what your role is. And when I say role doesn't mean you only should be like a mother. When I say role, is think about, you are literally a human technological portal, and people pray their whole lives to get into heaven. People behave a certain way their whole life. They dedicate their life to get into heaven. And we as a gender have a portal channeled canal to heaven, and souls can come through us. So if you start getting to know yourself and understand, hey, you know what, actually, if I have a portal to heaven and I'm so important to God, and the genital organ that is connected to heaven is so important to God and can do such a thing like be a channeled portal canal, you need to understand, God would not want you to mate with a man at all, ever, who is aiming to and wants to and doesn't care to please you back, who doesn't care to make you finish. Because at the end of the day, we have the God-given bodily function to want to be pleased, to want to sleep with a man, and in order to finish. So all the people who are saying, like, especially like in the red pill, or like those misogynistic men, which are Satanists actually, those they're saying that because they are satanic agents in a cult, and the satanic cult knows it's a satanic ritual to not please a woman back.